What's up, guys? Welcome into the Modern Christian Dudes podcast. My name is Jeremiah Johnson, alongside the one and the only Funko Pro, Greg Walden. He's back. You missed the episode on beards, but it looks like you got some stubble growing on.
I did watch the beard.
So inspired.
Well,
by the beard episode.
What's funny is I did. Did you read my comment on? Yeah. So I'll grow one if you do.
Okay, I'm gonna wait until November. Let's wait till November.
But my wife already said no.
So, well, anyway, we're dudes talking news, sports, and God. I did bang out an episode there without the one and the only Funko Pro Greg Walden the other day. So, but anyway, dudes talking news, sports, and God. That's what we do each and every episode. So yes, we did have a beards episode special because, like I said, I don't know, to be a good Southwest Missouri man, at least in our region here, seems like you got to have a beard almost.
Well, I mean, I've been a former military man. Of course, this is something.
Oh, yes. Thank you for serving, by the way.
Any military man, the first thing they do when they get out of the military is grow a beard.
Because
right. They're not allowed to have one while they're in the Army.
They've been held down for so long.
So like 6 years, I couldn't have a beard. It's like, now I can have a beard. So I grow one.
Yeah.
And so I was working at this place in Clarksville, Tennessee that made bicycle crankshafts for Huffy.
Yep.
And so we worked down. I mean, I worked next to a 2,000-degree welder and all that stuff. So I was like, I decided to grow a beard out. And so got a nice little Grizzly Adams, Dan Haggerty beard going.
Yep.
And it started itching like crazy. And I'm like, I couldn't take the itching anymore, so I shaved it off.
Yeah.
And that's
I don't know. We'll have to possibly experiment with it. Come on, Michelle, let us grow it out. Well, anyway, there's always stuff moving, grooving, happening in our society today. A lot of the info I'm going to bust out today going to be food driven today. So let me just kick it off here. You're a big Chick-fil-A guy. Anybody Chick-fil-A fans out there? Right, raise your hands if you're Chick-fil-A. I like Chick-fil-A. I just don't love Chick-fil-A. And if I'm by myself, usually, I don't know why, this is my new routine. If I'm in Joplin, which is an area by us, and I need to grab lunch quick, I go to Cane's recently.
Really?
Yeah, it's just chicken fingers, some fries, a drink. It's a good, quick little, kind of the same thing, but anyway. So Chick-fil-A is releasing, and again, I'll post some of this stuff, these articles on Modern Christian Dudes Facebook page. So if you haven't been to the Modern Christian Dudes Facebook page, please go there, like that. We post the episodes, the video podcast. You can listen to them on Anchor, Spotify, etc. But then I post the articles that we talk about. And the first one, Chick-fil-A is releasing a new chicken sandwich for the first time in 9 years, Greg Walden.
Yeah, I want to try it too.
Okay, have you heard about this?
Yep.
For the first time in 9 years, Chick-fil-A is adding a new chicken sandwich to its menu. And what pairs perfectly with the crispy chicken sandwich? A new milkshake. I was one of the first people to taste. This is coming from delish.com. So I was one of the first people to taste the new honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich and caramel crumble milkshake, which will appear on menus Monday, August 28th. So less than 9 days away while supplies last.
Oh, nice.
What do you think of that? Are you going for it or?
I do plan on trying that. When I get back from Grand Junction, I will definitely be hitting that up.
Okay. It's tough to mess with a classic, but the new honey pimento chicken sandwich easily stands on its own, created by Chick-fil-A chef Stuart Tracy. The new item was one of 30 sandwiches recently developed by the chain. It was the only one to be selected to go on the menu. Placed on a toasted bun, the crispy filet is topped with pimento cheese, pickled jalapenos, and a drizzle of honey. While this sounds like a lot of competing flavors, it works. And for those weary of spice, the balanced sandwich doesn't have much heat. It's much more cheese forward. So there you go. What do you think about that?
Right. I wouldn't mind just a little kick. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Like mild, like a mild salsa. It does have jalapenos in it, but it's not like, set your mouth on fire type thing, but it just got just a little hint of a kick, but it's really good taste.
Yeah. Little bit of a girly sound to it. Honey pimento chicken sounds like a little bit of a girly sandwich, maybe. I don't know.
Try it once at least.
So Chick-fil-A, I'll definitely try it out. But I guess could you get the spicy chicken sandwich with the pimento cheese and stuff? Maybe there where you get your cake involved there.
I'm sure they'll do whatever you want if you're paying for it.
It seems like at this point, Chick-fil-A can do whatever they want. I don't know where you guys are at, but in our area, Chick-fil-A not lacking business whatsoever.
Yeah. They're three locations in Joplin alone. They need one in Carthage, though.
Yeah, I don't think we're big enough, unfortunately. I don't know if we could have the volume. There's got to be, I've heard, I haven't looked on the website or anything. There's got to be all kinds of requirements or regulation of how, like to get one. I'm sure it's going to cost a lot of money, a lot of buy-in, but then I'm sure there's a lot of rules and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, there you go. I'll bounce over to another food one quick, then I'll get over to you, one Funko Pro Greg Walden. This one, Patrick Mahomes. So again, we live in the Red Kingdom. We live in the land of the Kansas City Chiefs, this area. But Patrick Mahomes, is this a question? He's the best quarterback in the NFL. You don't even have to be a Chiefs fan at this point to say. I think it's from, he's the top of the pyramid, the top of the food chain.
Yeah, Brady's retired, so he's the only one left.
Which we're not really talking football today, but how about that? The first year of NFL football without Tom Brady for over 20 years now.
I like that.
Okay. He's a hater. All right. Anyway,
I'm not really a hater. I just don't. I mean,
it's time to move on. Sometimes
I'm even getting sick of the Mahomes things. Like, on Facebook, they're like Mahomes this. Like, I don't like it when me personally. He's a good player, but I don't like when they pump somebody up way too much. He's. That goes to idol status. And I don't want to get into there.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes gets one step closer. This is coming out of the sportrush.com. Patrick Mahomes gets one step closer to his aim of opening 30 outlets of $4 billion worth of Whataburger throughout Kansas City. So Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes is proving his business acumen extends beyond the football field. With a keen eye for investment opportunities, Mahomes is delving into a venture that holds deep significance for the people of Kansas City. His latest endeavor involves bringing the beloved Whataburger franchise to the city, a move that reflects both his financial acumen and his commitment to the local community. His ambition plan envisions the opening of 30 Whataburger outlets throughout the Kansas City area.
See, that to me, that's more important than football. Getting the Whataburger. And we're getting a Whataburger in Joplin too.
We are, yes, in our area. I like Whataburger. I don't love it. So the Texans listening to us right now are mad at me for saying that.
Well, let me give my honest let me give my honest opinion. Again, I've had Whataburger and I've eaten In-N-Out.
In-N-Out.
Now, as far as the boogers, here you go. As far as the boogers, In-N-Out hands down.
I agree.
Now the Whataburger has better selection of drinks.
Yes.
So a lot of times, like when my daughter was living down in San Antonio, they had an In-N-Out Whataburger right next to each other. So I would go get the burger and fries at In-N-Out. Then I'd go to Whataburger get a drink.
Yeah, I agree. There's pluses and minuses. Yeah. I think if you're going for the simple, straight up, I'm running to In-N-Out quick. But yeah, if I want, they have more shakes and some different variety here and there. Yeah. Keep in mind, Patrick Mahomes played in Texas. He played Texas A&M football. So I'm sure, ate a few Whataburgers, and he's like, we got to get this in Kansas City.
And I'm probably going to be a bigger Texas hater, but not be hated by Texans. But to me, Whataburger tastes just like Sonic.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Now that you say that,
I was like, I ate Sonic. I like Sonic. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad burger. Don't get me wrong. It's a delicious burger. I would eat there.
Yep.
I'm just saying, to me, it tastes just like Sonic.
Okay, that's not a bad comparison. I'm sure some people get riled up about that. The Whataburger fans will not be happy with that comparison.
Sorry for your viewer count just went down.
Yeah, we are gonna eat there. Trust me. And Greg Wald and I, we're gonna go check it out once it gets in our area. Whataburger. What do you guys like better? Whataburger or In-N-Out Burger? I ate because there's a Whataburger in Springfield, Missouri, which is an hour from us. There's a Whataburger there.
Yep.
So I had that a few months back.
Now, I would say I would not eat at the In-N-Out in Ogden. I ate there one time, and they actually lived up to his name. And I don't want to be TMI for the story there, but
yeah, there you go. I wouldn't myself. I would. There's no In-N-Out Burger close to where we're at. Nope. You got the Whataburger because there's a Whataburger in Bentonville, Arkansas. Yeah. There's Whataburger in Springfield, Missouri. There's Whataburger coming to
our closest
Joplin area.
Our closest In-N-Out would be at Dallas. It'd be about a 6-hour drive to go to In-N-Out.
There you go. I want a Runza. Anyway, that's a Nebraska story.
Oh, actually, Runza's in Lawrence. Remember, I told you.
Lawrence, Kansas.
Yes.
All right. Let's bounce it over to you, Funko Pro. What you got for us today?
All right. I got a couple ones. I'll do the least in first. This week, Disney Plus is another big Star Wars miniseries coming out, the Ahsoka miniseries. Debuts Wednesday, August 23rd.
I've been out of the Disney Plus game now for 2 months since canceling. What's going on? So we got Ahsoka, Loki 2 is going to come out, I think, maybe Ahsoka, for the Marvel side of things.
Yeah, I know there was talks of Loki 2. Now, Loki wasn't a bad series. It took
series.
Took a little while to get into it, but it wasn't a bad series. But for us, the Star Wars fans, of course, I've seen a couple of the previews for the Ahsoka, and we do know that Hayden Christensen makes an appearance as Anakin, so that we know that's in there.
So the vibe from the Star Wars community regarding Ahsoka, is it good, bad, indifferent? What's the feel out there?
Well, obviously Ahsoka is one.
Should I resubscribe?
Yeah. Ahsoka is one of the most popular Disney characters. I mean, she's
got the long white,
white and blue,
alien hair.
Thing, yep. And so she obviously, if for those who don't know, she made her debut in the animated Clone Wars series. That's where she made her debut at. First, fans really didn't take to her very well, but as the series went on, they actually started falling in love with the character, and she became one of the fan favorites now.
Okay,
and so she
does look. Yeah. I mean, you got to love Star Wars for just the characters that they create.
Yeah.
Is amazing. Whoever comes up with all those ideas.
And so she's an interesting character. And again, I don't want to run it, but back in the anime the Clone Wars series, her and Anakin and Obi-Wan get sent to a planet. I can't remember the name of the planet, but it's kind of like the center of the Force. Basically, it's the crux of the Force. You got the father. There's a father who kind of is like balanced, and you have the daughter, which represents the light side, and the son, it represents the dark side, and they basically have a balance. And so, anyways, Ahsoka ends up getting killed in that episode, but the daughter, which represents the light side, gave up her life to save Ahsoka's life.
Okay,
and so now there's a connection between Ahsoka and this daughter, and it's like if you see like in later episodes, you see that now. That represents. They believe that's the daughter in the owl form. That's kind of around her. But anyways, the Ahsoka series that's coming out on the 23rd of August, it takes place during the era of the Mandalorian. So it's
set after here. Yeah. I got the website in front of me. It says set after the fall of the Empire.
Right.
Ahsoka follows the former Jedi Knight Ahsoka Tano as she investigates an emerging threat to a vulnerable galaxy.
Yep. So, yeah, I would have to. I mean, I'm going to be open-minded. I like Ahsoka, but I'm not. For some of the previews I've seen, I don't know. Some of the characters, some of the characters that are bringing out for the villains. Again, I don't know the plot. They can be just side characters, but we don't know. But I'm like, I don't know. Well, I'll have to reserve judgment to when I actually watch it.
Okay, August 22nd. Streaming August 22nd, Disney Plus. There you go. Check it out. Ahsoka next week. Then there you go.
Awesome.
So, all right, guys. Let's. You got another one over there for us?
Yep. And okay. Yep. And
I should say though, before we move on, I've soured on the Disney Plus the last few months too because there's nothing cool coming out, and I do think, sadly, that the superhero genre is just slipping little by little as the days go on. So we'll see what happens in the next few years. If Marvel and DC, there's a Blue Beetle, not to segue too far away, but the Blue Beetle's coming out for DCU. It's getting bad reviews already. They're super concerned. It's not going to make a bunch of money. So superhero genres are starting to wane a little bit here.
Well, I think some of that maybe in the woke stuff, they've been putting some of them.
True.
The woke agenda might be turning people off to it, but anyways.
All right.
So DJI a couple weeks ago dropped their Action 4 action camera.
Okay.
And of course, I'm a big action camera person. So
you are a big action. You're a GoPro guy, but
so I'm at the GoPro. But I'll be honest with you, if DJI would send me an Action 4 to test out, I would be willing to test it out. But I've watched some reviews. Of course, obviously you got the fanboys on both sides. I mean, you got DJI.
I was, without us talking, I was scoping that out, the DJI Osmo Action 4, and they brought the shape back to a GoPro type shape. They went away from it, but clearly must not have been popular because they brought it back to kind of a GoPro type of format.
Right, and it still has the magnetic mounting system, which people love. I mean, it's like especially if you do different mounts, it's so much easier than having to unscrew it and screw it, like the GoPro system. But on Amazon, you can actually buy a GoPro to magnetic mount adapter. You can actually use it with that system. But
you got the 1.1 and 1.3 inch sensor, stunning low light imaging, which the GoPro doesn't have. That's what people are kind of crying out for. Bigger sensor, 10-bit D-Log M-Color performance, deep freeze resistant and long lasting battery life, 160 minutes, magnetic quick release and native vertical video, 4K 120 frames per second. ultra wide field of view. There's a few little specs there.
Yeah, it's got some. It does have some good features on it. The big image sensor though, however, it's only a 10 megapixel sensor.
Okay.
It's only 10 megapixels. Well, the GoPro has the Hero 11 has a 27 megapixel image. Okay. So you can take a lot better photos with the Hero 11 than you can with the Hero. But again, it's more of a what are you going to do with it type thing.
Yeah.
I've seen YouTube videos. I even commented on one. This guy's like, GoPro's dead. I'm like, come on now, really, dude? No. And they were talking about this overheating stuff. I'm like, okay, yes. I mean, I'll tell you, the GoPros do overheat when you use them without any airflow. I mean, they're designed for airflow for cooling.
Yeah.
So if you've got them indoors and you're doing an hour-long recording, yeah, it's going to overheat.
Well, I think here's my quick breakdown: is DJI runs the drone world. I mean, they're the drone kings. GoPro still is the action cam king at this moment. I don't foresee that changing.
I mean, it depends on what you use it for. Now, if you're an indoor vlogger, I would get the DJI because, again, everybody's used it. They don't have any overheating problems with it. It doesn't shut down and stuff. People, especially people who complain about their video freezing, I was like, I can almost guarantee you they're using an SD card, an off-brand SD card that's not been tested yet. Because if you go to GoPro's website, it'll tell you what SD cards have been tested to work with that camera, and it will be different. Like what works for the Hero 7 may not work for the Hero 11. So you have to go to their SD chart, and as long as you buy an SD card that's on that chart, you're not. I've never had any video issues freezing up.
Okay. Now, get a good SD card.
Get the recommended SD card that the GoPro recommends for that camera. And there's SanDisk, Lexar. There's different brands, but they tell you which ones of each brand that works and been tested to work with that camera.
And I think it's $399. Yeah, it's $400. So same price as GoPro. And probably going to stick with the GoPro.
And the bigger sensor, that's, I think it's just, I mean, if this basically gives you better low light performance. And most people don't shoot action in dark. They start daytime stuff. So it's, I mean, again, a lot of it's giving, and here's the kicker. And next month, the Hero 12 Black comes out. And did you see the leak?
I have not seen the leak.
Well, somebody supposedly leaked a image of the Hero 12 that supposedly has a 1-inch sensor.
I would imagine it's going to have it. I think it's going to happen. And
can shoot 8K by 60 frames a second.
Wow.
I think it's troll. I think it's a troll. Yeah. I think it's, one, the reason why you will never, like a lot of experts say, you will not see a 1-inch sensor because of the focus depth. Because the 1-inch sensor focuses farther out, and because action cameras tend to be more, closer to the action, the 1-inch sensor would not work.
Okay.
So I don't think you're going to get a 1-inch sensor, and I don't think you're going to get 8K by 60 because, again.
Yeah. If you're a video guy, you have to have action cam in the bag.
Right.
It's got to be in the arsenal.
Now, this is my opinion. This is my professional opinion of the prediction for the Hero 12 Black. This is my opinion. I think it's going to have the same sensors as the Hero 11. It may have a better It may have a GP3 but I think it's still going to have a GP2 because GoPro. The GP2 is only 2 generations old. They use it with the Hero 10 and the Hero 11. I don't think you're going to see they're going to dump another processor. And I think it's going to be the GP2. Yep. Usually GoPro will up every 3 or 4 generations up the processor. But I think they're going to make it more power efficient because obviously they do need to address the overheating issue. I mean, obviously I used the Hero 10 at a Sunday school one time, and I put it in my coat pocket. I was in my coat pocket, and I could feel the heat on my skin from the whole thing. You could cook an omelet on this thing. I literally take it out and take the battery. So there is. But then again, that goes back to the argument. Like, well, you're people wanting more power and performance out of a small form camera that it's going to create anytime you increase resolution, frame rate, or processing power, you're going to create heat. That's just any electronics. You're going to create heat.
Yeah.
And in a small space with very little airflow, you're going to overheat. I'll say DJI eventually will have that problem too if they push. That's why you see the DJI's only doing 4K. They're not upping the frame rates and the resolution like the GoPro. So that's probably why they're not overheating. If they were doing 5.3 at 60 frames, they'd be overheating too. But and then my final thought is, I just forgot what my final thought is.
Hey, this is the GoPro. You are the action cam. Well, you're the GoPro expert. So if you want to reach out to us, you have GoPro questions. Greg Walden's your guy. So search him out on Facebook, Greg Walden. Yep. Did you think of the last thought you had on the?
But I think the Hero 11 is going to create this again. I think I would go with either one, but
12 Hero 12, right?
Yeah, I want to see what the Hero 12 is, but I don't think it's going to be a huge, massive, 1-inch sensor, 8K and stuff like that. I think
it tends to, they got to have somewhere to go. They always have somewhere to go, but it's. They don't get too crazy because they need to keep selling cameras. So
and two, you're gonna. I think the specs have. I think, man, my opinion, I think the specs have pretty much plateaued. I mean, you can only innovate so much in a small factor. Yeah. So I think you're not going to get huge increases in resolution and frame rates. I think you're going to maybe improve some feature, maybe some connectivity features and stuff like that. But I don't think you're going to see too many big, huge increases.
Yeah. All righty. 2 more things, and we'll wrap it up. We'll do some spiritual talk here. The only other interesting one, I guess I should, as we're on a food type mentality, Bazooka. You remember Bazooka bubblegum? Bazooka made a mint blowing bubbles. Now it's being snapped up for $700 million. So Bazooka candy brands, which includes the popular bubblegum and candies, just sold for $700 million. So it has been sold. I'm sure maybe it'll live on, but
good old Bazooka Joe used to read little comics that came with each piece of gum.
Yeah. So there you go. A little retro news right there. All right, let's get into some spiritual talk. I have different things going on in my life. I talked about earlier today. I was on this big bike ride last week. I rode almost, we didn't quite get to 150-mile bike ride. But then I also finished a summer master's degree class and all those kind of things. So when I get in these modes, I start thinking about the aspect of finishing, finishing well, being a finisher, because I noticed, number one, when it comes to like my master's degree classes, and we're getting ready to head into school season right now. So I think it's kind of funny because I'm connected with our local R9 school district here in Missouri. But the first part of the school year is always exciting, right? Pep rallies, everyone's exciting. This is going to be a great school year. Come on, guys. Woo. Trying to like get everyone pumped up. And I'm like that when it comes to like my master's degree class. When I start a new class, I'm like, oh, this is a new, exciting new book. There's excitement there when you step into something new, right? For the first time. But then I noticed it's correlated. Like at our schools here, about halfway through a semester, all the school teachers and students are all like, oh, it's like, I'm so ready for this to be done with, and then you get kind of into the lull and, you're now like you get to the end and you're just dragging, like, just let it be over with. And I get a little bit of that mode or that same kind of progression in my master's degree classes. It's like, I'm so excited to start, and then I kind of get to the middle and it's like starts to become monotonous. And then you get to the end of the class. Like I literally just finished a class yesterday, literally got the final paperwork, got the grades, all that kind of stuff. And you just kind of limping. I feel like I'm kind of limping and I just want to finish, but you got to finish strong. You got to finish well. And I think that is, attributed to our spiritual life. I think of number one, I think of Jesus being the ultimate finisher. He's a great finisher. Matthew chapter 7, verse 28, when Jesus finished saying these things, no, I meant the wrong one. Where was that? I was thinking of the verse. I don't have it in front of me now, but Jesus basically said when he was dying on the cross, said, it is finished. Last thing he said, it is finished, that he was willing to go through all of that pain, suffering, but he wanted to finish, what God had for him, the plan of the Father, which was changed all of our lives, the plan of salvation for all of humanity. But Jesus being the ultimate finisher, I'm going to finish what I started, what God has called me to do.
And just think, he did a task that nobody could have ever done. I mean, the immensity of the task that he did was infinitely, we couldn't fathom it fully.
Yep. Yeah. Jesus was the first finisher, but then I start to flow another type of. Paul had this mindset of finishing. I just had it. but he would use aspects of language like, I want to finish the race that is set out before me. And so this whole idea of finishing is something that we have to process in our lives as followers of Jesus Christ. That number one is like, that's what I keep telling people that want Jesus. First of all, people that want Jesus and like, I'm going to follow Jesus, I'm going to become a Christian. Well, this isn't just about one prayer. It's not about, 1 week or 1 month or even 1 year. It's about living a whole life.
Well, it's the rest of your eternity. I
mean, all of eternity for that matter.
Basically your life and eternity. So it's a huge, tremendous decision that it's like nobody, we got to understand that when, someone says, hey, do you want to surrender your life to Jesus? You're saying you're going to change your eternal destination. You're going to change your eternal course. You're willing to lay down your will. I mean, I always consider it to sign like a car. It's like I have a title to my truck that says it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
And when I give my life to Jesus, I'm signing the title. Kind of, I'm probably not the best analogy, but I'm signing the title of my life over to Jesus. Now Jesus owns me. He has a title to my life. And now I'm like the Bible says we're a slave. Not in a bad way, like not slave, like, get moved. No, but that's he is my master, but he's a good master. He's a loving, good master, but I'm no longer my own. He purchased me with precious blood that for my soul. He purchased me with his blood. He now owns me. I'm signing the title of my life over to him to the rest of eternity. That's the decision I'm making when I turn my life over to Jesus.
Yeah. Yep. And you want to finish that task. Yeah. And I kind of reduce it. And that's very important because I think like so often, well, we don't need to dive into that theological discussion. Some people, I don't want to call it once saved, always saved, but like, hey, you said the prayer of salvation, you're good to go. Just kind of live life now. But I think, I want to finish well, I want to complete. I don't want to just kind of just go through a nominal Christian living. I want to really follow Jesus and let him be the emphasis of my life and then finish well, not just be like, well, I said a prayer, I'm good to go. I'll just kind of live life now until I die or whatever. But I think the aspect of finishing I'm focusing on too is just when it comes down to the individual things that God has for us throughout the course of our lives. And a couple verses here, it says 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 10, it says, here is my advice. It would be good for you to finish what you started a year ago. And he uses a specific time. Last year, you were the first who wanted to give, and you were the first to begin doing it. So he's talking about giving in this contextually, but I like that he's saying that. He's like, here's my advice. It'd be good for you to finish what you started doing. So like a year ago, you said you were going to make this commitment to give to the gospel. Mm-hmm. My advice is finish that, complete that commitment that you made regarding that specific area, starting and completing. 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 11, it says, now you should finish it just says it simply, you should finish what you started. It's connecting the same verse here. Let the eagerness you showed in the beginning be matched now by your giving, given proportion to what you have. And so it is talking about giving this aspect, but it's kind of hitting along these lines that we're talking about. Hey, at first you were really excited about giving, but you should still be excited. Finish what you started. Let your eagerness you showed in the beginning be matched now. So, whatever we're going through, again, through the process of life, sometimes it's hard to keep up that enthusiasm, that eagerness in whatever we're doing. And the Bible tells us, hey, finish what you start.
Well, like I say, it's like we live in the world that, it's, I think every Christian experiences this. I mean, I know when I first got saved, man, I was just charging, telling others. I'd hand out tracts, and then life would happen. Then life would happen. Then you just didn't have that same spark you did at the first.
Yep. And
that's not God's fault. That's my fault. Honestly, I'll tell you, it's my fault. It's not God's fault. God's love for me and desire for me doesn't change. It's like when people say, "Where's God?" All this. I mean, God's right here. Mm-hmm. God didn't take his eye off you. You took your eye off of him.
Yeah.
And so the solution isn't for God to do this. The solution is to get your eyes back on God.
Yep.
And then realize, and we forget the joy of our salvation. I mean, that's one thing we should always have every day, the joy of our salvation. And we should never forget that. I think when we forget the joy of our salvation, then we start getting humdum and all that stuff. But remember the joy, keep that joy of your salvation fresh every day. Start your day with worship. That's why in the Sunday school kids class, I tell the kids, we start doing worship before you even do anything. So we do worship. Like I said, kids, start your day with worship in the Bible. Start your day with worship in the Bible. You'll be surprised how better your day will go when you start out with worship in the Bible.
Yep. And I also like looking up some scripture here. Here's another one, Philippians 1:16. Here's the grace of God right here. It says, and I am certain that God who began the good work within you will continue his work until the day it is finally finished, on the day when Christ Jesus returns. And so praise God that it's not all on us, that God who began a good work in us is faithful to complete it. And so he's going to work with us through the process. And he's a part of that completion of our faith as well.
Yes.
And then I think the ultimate goal is 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7. Obviously, I'm not planning on dying today or tomorrow necessarily based on my age, I guess. But, I hope that we get to the end of life, our lives, and here's what we say. 2 Timothy 4, verse 7. I fought the good fight. I have finished the race, and I've remained faithful.
Yeah. Amen to that. That's the word we should always say. And when we get to the end,
Yep. Amen. Well, hey guys, that's the show today. Be faithful. Okay. Stay committed to Jesus in your journey of faith. Appreciate you guys. Like, share, subscribe, all those good things. We'll post those articles if you're interested in reading them on the Facebook page. We're live streaming as well. Modern Christian Dudes talking news, sports, and God. Talk to you next time.